The Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered banks to start collecting the old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes from the public with immediate effect. However, the Apex Bank pegged the amount banks can collect to a maximum of 500,000 naira, while insisting that the 500 and 1,000 naira notes are no longer a legal tender. Now, Sita Wanisobi, director of the Apex Bank's corporate communications, confirmed the development in the afternoon on Friday. This is coming after President Muhammadu Buhari overruled Supreme Court and directed at CBN to recirculate old 200 naira note side by side with the new banknote till April 10, 2023, adding that both 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes are no longer legal tender. President Buhari's announcement seems to have sent Nigerians into confusion as they could no longer bear the consequence. Well, just before we get into the conversation on these, let's take a look at this particular report filed in by iBrandTV's correspondent, Igboji Korea. Take a look.
To further ease the supply pressures, particularly to our citizens, I have given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknotes be released back into circulation, and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10th, 2023 to April 10th, 2023, when the old 200 naira notes ceases to be legal tender. In line with Section 20, subsection 3 of the CBN Act 2007, all existing old 1,000 naira and 500 naira notes remain redeemable at CBN and designated points.
That broadcast by President Muhammadu Buhari followed reactions from Nigerians who says they can no longer bear the hardship imposed on them by the new policy of the federal government on the newly designed naira notes. Some roads and streets within Lagos have been taken over by policemen on fear of riots from residents. Some of the respondents, though appreciated the policy, said the implementation is too hard on the common Nigerian and small businesses.
I collect it yesterday. As I collect it yesterday to buy markets, when I want to buy markets yesterday night, people is not collecting it from my hand. Everything is inside the house now.
Filling station, they can collect it. Now we are stranded. Now we couldn't walk, we couldn't eat. So we are losing on the two sides. The one you transfer, it doesn't get to us. There's a network. Give us cash, no cash. So how do they want us to survive? We have children at home. So they should do something about this. They should do something about it. We are tired of this.
Tell me, what is the essence of the government that we have in our country? I'm a Nigerian man, suffering all over the world. Please, you people should help us.
They called on the president to urgently have a rethink on his decision to save Nigerians and small businesses.
One bag fuel, they no collect. One bag food, they no collect. I want to travel. I'm going to Abeokuta. They refused to collect old money from my hand. I'm driving now. No way to go. No way. No way. Please, make na help us. No way.
I don't see money spent. I go where I chop yesterday. They collect old money yesterday. Today now they don't want. They don't want old money. They don't want transfer. And they don't want. Okay, you know what you want now. We know sense. This money I don't dey outside now. I don't see. My friend where they work. That new note. They don't collect them. They don't see and collect. Now old notes, 200, 150 and they collect. Where you go see that new note now? Ataya.
The president, a nationwide broadcast, said there's no going back on the implementation of the new policy despite Supreme Court's order. Igboji Korea, reporting for iBrandTV News.
Well, there you have it. And of course, that's the latest and update of that particular development, talking about the scarcity and the cash crunch, which is hit the nation at the moment. So let me start with you, Ambrose Amodian, in the studio here. So where do we start from? First is the fact that there was a directive. The court order is subsisting. You have a broadcast from president, and now you have another directive today, and so there's a lacuna.
Yeah, actually, I believe that the whole process was not thought out well at the beginning, but the policy is a very good policy to be welcomed by all Nigerians. Oh, from the one when the thing was announced last year, yes, decided to bring the new Naira note, but we Nigerians were laid back at that time. We're not serious of ever taking back your own to the bank and also even collecting the new one. Let's be sincere. We're all Nigerians. We're getting the hit now. But at that particular time, only the few ones that are now relaxed and say we are not here anywhere, they were even exchanging and collecting the new note after then. But when the deadline comes, that is that rush hour mentality we all have in Nigeria. Everybody will not hit the bank to collect it because of everybody on the bank. The demand was there. There was not enough to meet that. But at the initial time, the thing was there. Even when people were saying that bank staff and all this one, is because we are not coming. That's why bank staff will even do anything they can do with the money. Right. And then, but now that directive have come from Supreme Court, from the president, from Central Bank, there's a lot of confusion around now. But I believe that Nigerians should come down and start patient. That is the only thing, because if you don't because of the confusion, you hit the street. At the end of the day, if they open up the whole thing to how will you get your money, if you are broken the banks, and you know that CBN will not bring van on the road that we're sharing money for, it's through this bank that will there. If let's start patient, I think they all need that. When it's come to change, it will come with pains and all those stuff. But I know that Nigerians are kind of pushed to the wall. But I believe that we should also understand our leaders and also understand how the peculiar people know our nature. But I believe that this is good, but the way everything is thought out, like I just said earlier, so, directly from here, I can see that some state governors are also making some brokers wait for Central Bank, what's it called, Supreme Court judgment on the Tuesday of the 22nd of February. I believe that all this, by that day, I think it cleared direction. But I know that after the election, we should expect.
Let me go to Mr. Kofi, who is joining us virtually now. Before the president's broadcast yesterday, which of course was on Thursday, Nigerians were banking on the Supreme Court standing, but they started rejecting the old Naira notes after the broadcast. So many say, well, the president broadcast further compounded the situation, overruling Supreme Court standing. So what do you make of all of these, Mr. Garba?
Well, to me, it just make up confusion. First and foremost, go back to the history of Nigeria. We had several leaders as head of state, both military and politician. Nobody ever redesigned Naira or change it. Because if you go to in the history of a
hello, can you hear me? Well, I don't know if Mr.
Kofi
is still there. Okay, go ahead.
It is a policy. It's a policy. It's a policy that has nothing to do with the economy. It was deliberate designed to create this confusion, because when they announced it in October, the new currency was not even available until January. And when the new currency was available, it's not much. So how do you expect somebody? Banks were exchanging the old currency even in January through ATM.
Let's get it clear now. Mr. Kasimo, let's get it clear. Where do you think the confusion is? Is it when the president came out to make that broadcast yesterday, or is it a back and forth with the Supreme Court and the CBN now? Because some people believe, well,
and therefore we shouldn't have
good policy. So if we all believe that this is a good policy, so where did we go wrong, and where is the confusion coming in? Perhaps we need to get it right from there.
First, I don't believe it's a good policy, because in the first instance, if it is a good policy, other head of state will have presented the same to Nigeria, because they all want Nigeria to be good. So the policy is not good from the day one. We are well aware. Over 60% of Nigerians, they are not banks. You are now talking about going to the bank. We have the whole local government without a bank. And I'm telling you, 60% of our Nigerian local government, they didn't even have a single bank. So how can you ask this policy to go? Secondly, you want to go electronic. The bank doesn't have the capacity to take electronic transfer. Today you transfer, it takes you 3 days to get it landed in the bank. So they don't have the capacity. The technology, the data, the 4G, the 5G are not working to meet all the demand. So why are you asking what is not possible?
Okay, good.
So the policy is not.
Yeah. We'll bring you back again to talk about. But let me go to Olaide Bano. The president re-emphasized this. According to him, they are saying, look, this is to curb electoral malpractices. Now, I mean, he has, in his broadcast on Thursday, that is what he said. That, look, this is not meant to put Nigeria into a tight corner. But again, that this is going to curb electoral malpractices. So what's the position on this?
I always thought that I had that position that to curb election corruption, stuff like that. I was like, election malpractice, I believe election malpractice goes beyond just going to the polling unit and start sharing money.
Hello, Mr. Bano. Can you hear me, Olade? Well, I guess Olaide is losing connection with us there. So, Ambrose, let's come back to you.
Hello?
Okay, you can hear me. Please, go ahead.
I can hear you clearly.
Yes,
so
go ahead.
These politicians know their game. They know their game. They know how to plan their game. They must have planned ahead of this.
Oh, dear. I think we're still having. Let's come back to the studio. Perhaps if we can get you back again. So, Ambrose, let's look at this. I know, Kofi said, look, this is not a good time for this kind of policy.
Is there a special time for?
No, he is even saying, look, that he doesn't believe in this policy, and it's not a good policy either. But for you, some people say, look, this has impacted greatly on business. Let's talk about from the aspect of business now. How negatively do you think this has impacted on businesses, especially small, businesses?
Yeah, actually, I'm happy that you clarify small businesses are like also artisans and all those stuff. Yeah. Fine. Today, this is a very hard time for them because of the policy. Because if there's no cash, people will not patronize you, and most of them don't have they don't have already the background of transfer and all those stuff in their business. But I'll tell you, for those organized business like the shopping mall and all those stuff, big business, you can still be but for those on the street, the people that polish you, that make out those ones on the road, fine. But I believe that with time, but now that President has given order, let's push back the 200 naira note back to the system to run concurrent with the new ones. That's for me, it's a good one. But on that is that let's also look at the court aspect of it, the Supreme Court aspect of it. In all this, all is for the good of Nigeria. The Supreme Court is trying to make things work. The president wants things to be faster. He has gone ahead for the 22nd to make sure that these people so they're keeping Nigeria in this kind of confused state. That is why this is also feeling for Nigerians. They're waiting till the outcome of the Supreme Court. It has to vote. Like I said earlier, I think the CBN should also double up their effort with the banks. The same banks that to push this money back to a level so that can see starting a kind of pressure coming down. That's what because I believe if call it, let's say it's a mistake or it's not thought out well. But at this time that we can't go back to a level because even they want to go back to normal situation to push back what we have about 2.4 trillion back to the public again. It's not an easy thing. It's not going to be a day job. But with what the president has, I think they should push more money. That's what my concern is. So that this also
let's go to the economy. Let's go to Casimo. Let's come to you now. The CBN earlier in the day or in this afternoon Friday said, well, let the banks go ahead, commercial banks go ahead, collect 500 naira, take 500 and 1,000 naira note from business people and people who want to deposit. But of course, the condition is that it must not be more than 500,000 naira. Do you think this will go a long way to even cushion the effect or the immediate effect of what this cash crunch or crisis is causing? Alaji.
Policy. The policy came after they have seen that they lack the capacity to collect the money. CBN doesn't have the capacity, doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the technology to collect the money by themselves. So the only available institution that can do that are banks. So why in the first instance CBN denied bank from collecting it? And the issue of releasing 200 naira. 200 in circulation is just 8% of the total money in circulation. So the total money in circulation by 500 and 1,000 is about 80%. So you hold 80% and you release 8% to solve the problem, it will never. You need to do something better. Printed money, they don't have the printed money. They don't have the capacity to print the new money. So let the old one continue using. Nobody will convince me that the politician, by this you are denying the politician. The president was alive when all these presidential candidates were elected using dollar, not even naira. He did not quote a single person. He did not punish anybody. So is it that time around, now you are saying that they should not use the money, and they used dollar, not naira, and they were there, and he did not cut one, he did not punish one, and now he is punishing us?
Okay. I think we just have to drop that one. But hopefully, we believe that maybe between now and next, between now and next weekend, of course, before the election, perhaps we'll see the new naira in circulation, isn't it? I'm not sure if Kasim.
So what I'm saying, what of in between? In between, people will be dying because of the election. Students cannot go to school because they don't have transport money.
Right. And
you have not made provision for that. Today you want to buy a cow, you do transfer. No any plan will accept transfer because he doesn't have bank account. So what they are asking people to do, they don't have it on the ground. So for me, this policy is dead on arrival.
Okay. All right. I mean, Kasimu Garba said it's dead on arrival. Let's hear one more word from you, Olaidibanu, before we move to the next conversation. Quickly.
Yeah, based on this, bank collecting the old naira notes now as we speak. Now, the CBN did not state when should that stop at the bank level, which means that if bank continue to collect this and people are in need of cash, as we have been saying, definitely the bank will be forced to issue back the old naira note, and in the long run, the old naira note and the new naira note will still be in circulation beyond,
right?
Probably beyond this period and probably till April 10 and April 10 of this year. Which means that the CBN itself has been faulting, said that they didn't state the period at which this collection should last with at the bank level, also collecting the old naira note. So the CBN, as Alaji has been saying earlier, the policy has been faulty right from the beginning.